Greetings, friends and subscribers. Thank you very much for your continued interest in this channel, Time of Reckoning. And this episode, I want to give in a bit to requests made to discuss some matters of a lighter kind than some of the issues already discussed, that some persons feel their appetite for those issues are not always as strong. And so I have been advised to do some videos that reflect the lighter side of life. And so in this episode, I think I will discuss something that's very common to all of us, and that have to do with our common humanity. Some aspects of it, we'll look at parenting. I am a product of the 1960s. And growing up in the 1960s as a child, I can always recall my childhood and my childhood upbringing. I was raised by a single parent, by my mother. But as I grow up, I learned that conventional wisdom, so called, says that children should be raised by two parents, a father and a mother. And it sounds reasonable. But then when you reflect on some of the things that you have been taught, also, you're told that the human family only has a father. There is no mention of any mother in the origin of the human family. So we only have a divine father. Of course, there are other views that speaks to father and mother divinely. But those of us who have a certain exposure to certain belief systems have been told, we have been taught to say our father, not our father and mother. So they say that if you're raised by one parent, you're deficient. And so ask yourself if the deficiencies we find in the universe might be owing to that fact. You know, some persons do not like to question anything of a divine sort. We have always been taught not to question God. And by saying that, we're supposed to just accept whatever we're told about God by those who claim to know. But the reality is that there are many questions that are out there to be answered. You know, we're told that the first woman was created from a part of the first man. But then after that, every man came into the world through a woman. You ever thought about that? So man is responsible for the existence of the first woman in a physical sense. But then the woman is responsible for every other male after that. Do you believe that? Or you think there's another side to the story? We're told that in the early stages of the human existence, that chaos broke out in the universe. And that explains why there are all the troubles in the world. Could that be as a result of a single parent issue? Could the problem in the universe be as a consequence of the fact that there were no balance? I have also noticed that most creatures, most living things, depend solely on their mother for existence, you know. I don't know if you take time to look at it, that most living things, animals and other living things, depends heavily on the mother for existence. For example, you check how many animals who came into existence depend on their father. They knows nothing about the father, only the mother. So some persons wonder if there was a balance, father and mother, if it speaks to the fact that, life would be different, life would be better. Then you ask, where does the buck stops? Because we find that in today's world, blame is so easily placed. If a child is deviant and it is raised by a single mother, the blame is on the fact that the father was never there. And vice versa. If the child was raised by his father and turned out to be deviant, then they speak of the love of the mother that was missing. And then when the child has father and mother and it becomes deviant, then they point to something else as a consequence. So these are controversial matters, very controversial. But speaking about where the buck stops, one of the most common thing in today's world is that a devil is blamed for so much, so much. The human falling from grace into sin and imperfection is blame on the devil. And all the chaos in the world is blame on the existence of a devil. And you ask yourself, where does the buck stops? Where does the buck stops? Who really controls everything? So when you think about it, there are many questions that are unanswered. And many persons are afraid to delve deeply into these things because of the way we were socialized. We were taught that to question things deeply, you are against God, you do not have any faith, you're sinning. And these things cause people to just accept what they have been taught without questioning it. But it's important that we learn to question things for it to make sense. If something does not sound as though it makes sense, maybe it just might not make sense. Just might not make sense. So if you subscribe to the fact that a single parent household is deficient, then you have to ask yourself, how could the universal household not be deficient with just a father alone? Does that sound like an improper question to ask? Some persons will say that fathers are stern. Fathers are fear factors in households. And so children, for example, tend to take chances with mom, but tend to be afraid of dad. Is that your experience? And if father is a fear factor, then could it be that the father's attitude in the very beginning of things may have contributed to where things are today? And perhaps if there was a balance of a mother, maybe there would be a difference. Somewhere in the Bible, I think in the book of Galatians, I read the Apostle Paul speaks of the Jerusalem above and said, she is free and she is our mother. Now, think about it. The Apostle Paul says there is a mother that's above, but we really don't know much about her. Is there really a mother? Some persons say you can't have a father and not a mother because we know that mother and father are responsible for the existence of human beings. So, divinely, is there a mother? And if so, where is she? What is her contribution? It is not my intention to interpret scriptures using this medium. So, it is not my intention to tell you who is the mother that Paul spoke about, but it's enough to say that he said it. And so, if there is a divine mother, I guess we need to spend some time to learn about her. What was and is her role in all things? There are some persons who are strongly of the view that in nature, most things, if not all, there is a balance. There is male and female. There is light, there is darkness. You have water, you have fire. You have a balance in everything. In everything. But I wonder, why is it that while it takes two to cause a chicken to come into the world, when the chick is hatched, you never see the father around, it's only the mother. The hen takes care of her. That's through the dog, the cows. I grew up around animals and I always noticed that. That once born, father is nowhere. You only find the mother take care until the animal is on its own. Is that there to say something? What's the mother's role? What's the father's role? So these are just some thought-provoking questions. Even if they sound as serious as the others, I think it's on the lighter side. It's on the lighter side. In another video, I want to look at the changing scenes, for example, of disciplining and how it fits into the world we have today. But that's a topic for another video. So I trust that you will see how this light topic fits into the time of reckoning. And I hope you find something there to ponder. And I look forward to your feedback on some of these matters. So, nice linking up again, friends. I want to continue to encourage you to share the videos and to encourage others to subscribe to the channel, and it will only get better. So long.